In case you had not noticed, the state of Maine has been involved in a lot of high-profile legal battles with the Trump administration. But setting aside those cases, the state has also found itself engaged in more than a dozen other lawsuits that sometimes don't make the headlines. And the man at the center of them all is Maine Attorney General Aaron Frey. Our Donovan Lynch sat down with him today to talk about all of those lawsuits, which his critics say are more about politics than they are about the law.
Well, the Trump administration marches into its 7th month. The Maine state government is now part of dozens of lawsuits against the White House, recently breaking into new territory.
The number I had, like an hour ago was 30.
These legal actions, usually involving a large group of other states, have hinged on moves by Trump that Maine Attorney General Aaron Frey believes go beyond a president's power. Maine joined suits against the federal government over funding freezes by the USDA, efforts to dismantle agencies involved with museums and libraries, and cuts to money going to certain medical research.
Up to this point, what we've seen is Maine having to respond to actions by the Trump administration that we were concerned were going to be impacting the state, impacting programming in the state.
Most recently, Frey pursued the Trump administration in a different capacity, suing the government over provisions to the tax and spending bill passed in Congress this summer, arguing a provision aiming to cut funding from Planned Parenthood is discriminatory.
We're alleging that the federal government, through Congress, can't tell us to violate the First Amendment rights of an organization that is providing health services.
But this hands-on legal strategy by the Democratic AG has met strong resistance from some Republicans in Maine.
This is what you get when you have a partisan hack in this position.
GOP State Representative Laurel Libby sued the state over a censure she received in the Maine House for making a social media post of a transgender teenager to argue against trans athletes competing in women's sports. She sees Frey's moves as motivated by politics.
The Attorney General is wasting a lot of taxpayer dollars chasing political victories and political points instead of doing the hard work of ensuring that crime is under control in our own state.
What I am doing is the exact same thing I've done for the last 7 years, which is when Maine's legal interests are at risk, it is my job to make sure that the law is followed.
In Augusta, Donovan Lynch, News Center, Maine.
We did ask Attorney General Aaron Frey if he plans to run for office in 2026, whether for governor, senator, or congressman. He responded, quote, "I have no announcement to make today."